Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So as you guys know, the major news from yesterday was that Ryan Clark was let go of. Right, he was fired by ESPN, and as of now, as we're doing this show, Cam Newton himself has also been let go of. But yesterday when we broke the story, a lot of people were kind of speculating. Why did they let go of Cam? What was the reason for firing him? A lot of people were trying to figure it out. And there was a lot of speculation out there. Well, I was able to do some research and I was able to find out the exact reason why Cam Newton was let go of. And we actually have the video footage that we want to get to. But before we even get into all of that, today's video is brought to you by a sponsor, Kachava. Now, before we continue, let me tell you something. This year, I got serious about taking care of my body, my training, my nutrition, all of it. Nothing extreme. I just wanted to take better care of myself. But my days get busy between work, moving around, taking care of my daughter, trying to go to the gym, buying groceries. Life fills up fast. And when it does, nutrition is the first thing to fall apart. I would skip meals, grab whatever was easy, and feel it by the afternoon. Then I started using Kachava's new travel pack. Just one packet gives you complete nutrition ready for life to go on. Plant-based protein, fiber, greens, vitamins, probiotics, omegas, electrolytes, and more. No artificial flavors, no sweeteners, no soy, no gluten, no preservatives, and no animal products. All the nutrition my body craves in one delicious shake, packed to go. It keeps my energy steady all day, and more importantly, it actually tastes amazing. If you have been meaning to take better care of yourself, this is the easiest place to start. Take your daily ritual with you. Go to Kachava.com and use code DREAMERS for 15% off your first order. That's Kachava, Kachava.com, code DREAMERS. And here's one more thing. If you decide to try it, send us your receipt to DreamersProOfficial@gmail.com. And we will give you 2 months free in the Dreamers Pro community we are building. Or we could give you 50% off on your future merchandise when we launch it. All right, so I first saw this yesterday. This is from a New York Post article, but we put up the post on X. It says, this exchange is the reason why Ryan Clark got fired from ESPN. And there's a video here that I want to play from you. It's from NFL Retweet. It was an exchange that he had. It says ESPN's Ryan Clark and Peter Schrager got into it after Ryan Clark disagreed with his take. So what we want to do is I'm going to play the video for you. It's about a minute or so, and I'm going to come back and continue on.
This morning, are you feeling, okay, you look at A.J. Brown, which is this number one wide receiver who got one target all night, and then you got CeeDee Lamb.
But that's the,
when was the one target?
That's the target,
But
though.
I'm saying,
when was the one target?
I'm saying you could have it both ways.
54 seconds left in the game on 2nd and 11. It was the one target. He runs the out route.
You wake up this morning saying A.J. Brown had a better day than CeeDee Lamb?
But you know what you wake up saying, though? A.J. Brown's team is 1-0.
Of course.
Right, that's what,
I get it.
But the thing is this, though, and we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player.
Oh, stop. That's, no, CeeDee Lamb is
let me tell you why. I'm not looking
at fantasy football. Ryan, I'm not, don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3X players are saying one thing and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
Okay.
As a player.
So you saw it there. Then we have another count, The Athletic. They said Ryan Clark's firing from ESPN was influenced by his perceived poor verbal conduct, particularly towards colleague Peter Schrager. On Get Up last September, after Schrager defended Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb's performance in a season opening loss, Clark said, that's the non-player in you. Schrager asked Clark not to belittle him, and later that day, Clark apologized on X, writing, today, I had an interaction with my colleagues, both on and off the air, that I regret. And then the article from The Athletic goes on a little bit further there. Now, ESPN making this decision, there's been a litany of firings that they've done today, a litany. And we don't want to make it just a Ryan Clark thing. He's probably one of the biggest names, but there's been a litany of them. In the case of Ryan Clark, and I said this on the live yesterday, and I'm going to say it now, Ryan Clark obviously did good work for the network. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had him there for 10 years. But he's had moments where he's had blow-ups with people at ESPN. Go back years ago with him and Stephen A. Smith on First Take. You had the one with him and Chris Mad Dog Russo when he just like flared up on him like he wanted to fight him. Like, Ryan is just talking basketball here. Like, what's going on here? And then, of course, you have this one here. And I think with this particular one, by him saying that's a non-player in you, the network may have said, okay, now you're undermining us because you're now saying that this guy is not qualified to talk at all. And we're the ones hiring. So you're saying the people that we put on TV are not qualified to talk sports, according to you. And you can look at it from a organizational standpoint. It's like, okay, no, that's just not going to work, right? You have that. You have the second part of this that I want to get to, which is if you look at Ryan along with Cam Newton and some other people as well, so many people being let go, but you're hearing reports of Pat McAfee gearing up to sign a $60 million a year contract with the network. It also speaks to, well, how much money are you bringing to the network? I'm not particularly a fan of Pat McAfee. I've heard some of his basketball takes. They're really bad, but he's an NFL guy. But what I do know is that he has a huge audience. His show and all of this stuff, and what and ESPN has made certain concessions for him. He's allowed to swear on TV and all of that. So he must make the network a lot of money. And I think that now we're getting to the stage where it's like, okay, they're probably consolidating. And they're maybe dumping more resources into a few people that make a ton of money. That's probably what they're doing. In the case of Ryan, a lot of people were upset at how ESPN fired him because according to what I heard, he was fired while he was on air. And I read that he was fired during a commercial break. Now that is pretty tacky. You could have fired him at the end of the day, or the news could have broke rather, at the end of the day. It didn't have to happen while the guy was on air. But it also speaks to how sports media is a cutthroat business. It is a cutthroat business. It is very competitive. Everyone is trying to get to the top of the charts. They're all chasing after the same, and everyone wants to work for these major networks like ESPN and others. Why? Because based on my observation, most people that have worked on these networks that leave these networks and go independent, they just kind of fade into black. They go nowhere. They fade into obscurity. No one knows about them anymore because a lot of them are, the machine behind them is what propels them to the people that we know them. But when they don't have that backing behind them, they're just regular old Joes on the YouTube. And that's just the fact of the matter. Now, Ryan, on his, for his credit, he has a podcast, The Pivot, and it's a very successful podcast. He's interviewed a lot of well-known people, right, on that podcast. So he's interviewed top athletes, former presidents. So I think he's going to be fine. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I do remember, however, that Ryan really wanted to be on ESPN, and because I remember the whole contract negotiations, the back and forth that he was having with the network over that deal. I vividly remember that. But hey, man, it's the way the cookie crumbles. Maybe that exchange with Peter Schrager, I hope I got his last name right, was just a step too far. And now some people are speculating with all of this cord cutting that they're doing, could they be bringing in some new people, some old faces rather, like Shannon Sharpe or like Skip Bayless? Remember, Skip Bayless had that show that he did with Stephen A. Smith, and it got a ratings bump. It was really, really good. So who knows? Maybe they may go back and get some of those guys. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. We have to wait and see. Maybe Shannon. We've heard Stephen A. Smith come out and publicly vouch for Shannon Sharpe to be brought back to the network. So we just have to keep an eye on it, and let's see how everything plays out. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave them in the comments. We catch you on the next show. Peace.